And we are recording. Hey everyone, welcome to Women Empowering Women Now. This is our Empowered Conversations interview series where we get to interview some amazing women and really get down to have a real conversation. So I'm pretty excited today. I am your host, Doreen Dilger, and for those that don't know me, let me introduce myself. I am a certified business, life, and retreat coach. I am an author and I am the founder of Women Empowering Women Now, which is a global online community that offers women a platform where we educate, support, and empower women to step into their power and create an abundant and soul-inspired life. And we do this through our online platform called our Elite Circle. And through our Elite Circle, we provide monthly training. We have our masterminds. We do a planner virtual meetup. We have a book club. We're just starting to put into our monthly creative classes, such as paint nights and creative writing and junk journaling and jewelry making, so much more. It's a lot of fun. And you have access to all these classes. We have workbooks and checklists and challenges and so much more. And the cool thing about this is that it's only $27 a month. You can cancel at any time. And if you'd like to join, please go to womenempoweringwomennow.com. because it is a great, great platform. And I am happy to say that my guest today, Dr. Karenmarie LaConte, is an Elite Circle member. And I am so excited to talk with her today. We are going to have such a great conversation. All right, Dr. Karenmarie, welcome. Can you please introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Dr. LaConte. I am a naturopathic doctor. I see patients in Shelton. I see patients in Norwalk and in Orange. For those of you that don't know what a naturopathic doctor is I do everything an MD does, except I don't prescribe pharmaceuticals. Your appointments would encompass everything from mind-body connections to supplements to well care and the totality of how you are as a person.
I love that. So the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because Dr. Karenmarie is my doctor, and she has, oh my God, she's changed my life. And I have been one of those people in the past that have looked at a naturopath and gone, oh, I can't do that. I can't even, don't even, whatever. And I wanted to have a conversation with Dr. Karenmarie and talk about that mindset that we have and how much my life has changed. So first, just to give you a little bit of history, I have had food allergies, and I've had it for a very long time. And you get to the point where you're sick and tired of living that way. And I got the opportunity to meet Dr. Karenmarie through Women Empowering Women. Just like, when you see an angel come into your life, into the room, it's like changes your life. And she first set out, and I think the first thing I said to you was, I'm not taking any pills, potions, or lotions, right? I'm like, that's it. And that was my mindset back then. It was like, nope, I'm not doing it or whatever. And then I think COVID happened for a little bit, and then we reconnected, and I was on board because I was sick and tired of living my life that way. And I now I am gluten, sugar, and dairy free. And I have lost a total of 20 pounds so far, and I feel amazing. And you know what the thing is that my mindset is like, oh, I can't give up sugar. I can't give up dairy. I can't do that. And now that I've given it up, I don't crave it. I don't want it. When I eat it, it's like I feel worse, and it's like, it's amazing. So can you kind of explain to people, well, first of all, why did you get into this field? Why did you become a naturopathic doctor?
So I started out in skin. So I've been an esthetician for like forever, so probably 35 years. And I studied in Manhattan. And so as I was building up my client base, I was studying so much about skin in terms of nutrition, in terms of products, in terms of like what you can do internally. And I just kept studying, studying, and studying. And it was getting to the point where I'm like, well, crap, I could have a degree in this for all the studying that I'm doing. And I just read every kind of book you could possibly, I could get my hands on at the time. The internet wasn't a big source of resource, at the time. And that's when it hit me. I needed to find an occupation that was enabled me to both take care of a person in totality legally. You know what I'm saying? So people out there will give advice about skin, will give advice about nutrition and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean they should be doing that. And so I had gone to UB, the University of Bridgeport College of Naturopathic Medicine, and they just happened, fate was that they just had this meeting there, and I was like, oh my God, huzzah, that's where I need to be. And I had 2 other degrees. I worked in the restaurant business. I used to run hotels. I ran hotels for probably the better part of 10 years, from like the time I was 20 till like 30 minimally. And so I already had my associate's degree. I already had a skincare degree. So this meant me going back to school all over again. I had to go get my bachelor's. None of the stuff that I did before counted towards my bachelor's. So I had to start from the beginning. And it was quite a journey. And I knew that I set my sights on going to medical school, but I wasn't the type of person that grew up thinking, taking your SATs. My idea of taking SATs was like filling in the blanks to make a picture. Like when I was in high school, I just thought that would never be an attainable goal for me. And so I just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, oh, well, why not me? Right. And so finally I got my doctorate, and it enabled me to be able to see patients, put together a protocol for patients, but not just see them, but have the capability to do all that for them. And it was a really long journey. I did it when my kids were little. So don't think you can't, whoever's out there's listening, don't think you can't start new. I had to start new. And my kids were little, and I had to do my hustle. I hustled, had to get it done. And the more and more I pushed and pushed and pushed and read everything I could get my hands on, that's when I knew seeing patients in the clinic. We're required to see about 2,000 patients before we go out into the world. And I just knew when I saw patients that I'm like, these are my people. This is where I'm supposed to be.
I love that. And one of the things that I appreciate about you, or I didn't recognize this in you at first, is that when I came to see you to talk to you about all the things that I was experiencing, it wasn't as cut and dry as like, here, I'm bringing in a bag of puzzle pieces to you, and you, just by having conversations and you asking specific questions, were able to put together this puzzle that I had that has been bothering me for so long. And you were able to connect things that I never even thought about. And it's been a long journey. I mean, we're talking about 5 years that I've been on this journey, and I have had a lot of amazing people come, everywhere from acupuncturists to, individual people that are like nutritionists and people that are in the wellness world, try to help me with other pills and potions and stuff like that. And they never worked. And they never worked because there wasn't that connection that you were able to make, putting all those pieces of the puzzle together. And like you said, certain things don't, just because you do this and this doesn't mean it's going to give you this end result. You're missing that important component. And that's what I love about you, and how brilliant you are to sit back and look at not just a woman, but anybody that comes in, because you've helped my son as well. We've helped many people because I've referred many people to you, but you've helped a lot of people by sitting back, asking those questions, and not just looking at one particular thing that normally a doctor will come in and, okay, well, what are the symptoms? Okay, well, here's the prescription. There you go. Goodbye. You're looking at the whole picture, which adds into a lot of that different things that I absolutely appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So when it comes to mindset about a naturopath, what do you find? What is the common thing that, you see time and time again with people?
You mean with patients?
With patients, yes.
A lot of the times there's two things. People will come in and say, patients will say, you mean what do I find in common is in terms of the people that I treat, or what do I usually see, like the dialogue that they're going to tell me when they first come to me?
Yeah, the dialogue.
Okay,
We'll talk about the different people that you treat in a minute.
Okay. Typically people will come and say, listen, I've been to my PCP, I've been to a neurologist, an immunologist, autoimmune specialist. I've had this and this and this for so long. I feel good for a week. They give me something, I leave, but nobody ever really listens to me. I'm in and out. And then I realized there were like a ton of questions I had. I didn't get them answered. I can't get them back on the phone. And they're saying nobody's ever like taking everything into consideration. Nobody's ever really saying, well, how is everything going on with your children? How's everything going on with your parents and your job, and nobody's really taking the time to do that. So that's one dialogue I have. And then the other type is people that very similar to you, or they come in and they're like, you're not going to they're telling me already what I'm not going to do. And it's a fair thing when you said that, because sometimes naturopaths just in general could go really far to the other extreme. And I get that. Any doctor really could. And so people sometimes see, oh, if I'm a naturopath, that means I could never have soda, and I've got to go gluten-free, and I've got to eat cardboard and taste-free. And so they come in with that mindset already, not really understanding that it isn't. So when you say you're gluten-free and dairy-free, that isn't because I just said, bippity boppity boo, I want you to be those things. It was because you, through testing determined that you needed to be those things, not necessarily because every naturopath feels that way about every patient. That's just not true. And so just educating patients and letting them know, listen, if you're going to come to me and spend money to come to me, let me help you reach your goals and show you that these particular foods are hurting your GI tract. And so finally, when they're educated like you were like, a light went on and said, oh, now I know why I need to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I know that, in the beginning, that was my mindset. I did not want to take any potions. I didn't want to take any pills. I take a total of 22 pills a day. And a lot of people will say to me, well, geez, that's a lot. And I'm like, you know what? To me, it's not. It's not. The result that I get from what I am putting into my body is so much better than the foods that I have been eating. So to me, that is something that I'm doing good for me. And I used to be like, oh my God, I got to take it doesn't bother me anymore, and now it's like, I don't crave any of the sweet foods. I want a good, healthy, salad with some chicken on it. I actually take the time to enjoy it. But it's not even that. It's not even the food aspect of it. You've even told me I need to slow down as a go-getter. You know what I mean? I've got 10 million things going on. You need to slow down. You need to put that into practice. And I have been doing that. So there's a lot of awesome things that have been coming, from that. So let's talk about all the things that you do. What are some of the symptoms or, the ailments that people come to you with? What are the things that you can help with, not even just women, but anybody with?
Gosh, it ranges. My most common patient will come in with inflammation. That's the big thing. Or people will say, I have anxiety, and I have anxiety going to work every day, or I have anxiety when I wake up in the morning and I don't know why. and or my thyroid gland is out of whack. I've had hypothyroid for a really long time. Nobody seems to really been able to get it under control. So I see people mostly for endocrine disorders, meaning they've got Hashimoto's, they've got hypothyroidism, people with anxiety, people that are not feeling like they want to get out of bed, people that have had cancer, people that presently have cancer. I've treated almost everything. I've treated many things, but mostly it's endocrine disorders, fatigue, anxiety, depression. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I'm taking blood pressure medication. That's another big thing. People come to me and say, I'm taking they bring a big bag. I tell them, bring your stuff so I can see what you're taking. Let's go through them. And a lot of the time, just sorting out their polypharmacy, like one guy came to me with a hefty bag filled with prescriptions. And some of the times what he would do is, to be diligent, he would take an empty bottle and put all his pills in one bottle and walk out the door so that he could take them when he got to work, but then wouldn't remember what they were all for. And so one of the big things is just get down to practicality. Just what are you taking? Let's figure out what are the drugs that you're taking. And are you taking polypharmacy, meaning many of the drugs that aren't concurrently supposed to be taken at the same time, given by MDs. I love MDs. Listen, I'm not dogging MDs. We need MDs. There's a time and place for all modalities, all medicines, but it's just it's more common than anything. One time I had a guy say to me, he got on the highway and the lines on the highway were moving. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, they were moving. And I said, well, did you take anything? And in many conversations, what we found out is that he really didn't even remember any of the drugs that were in his vials. They were all mishmagosh together. And so really simple stuff like just drawing some labs, just figuring out what's going on with their medications. And just that alone made him feel better. And he ended up with a whole slew of other symptoms, like, he had anxiety and other things, just because his medications weren't taken correctly, or he wasn't taking the correct medications. He wasn't eating good nutrition, just really simple stuff. Just break it down to the most simplest way and then go from there.
Yes.
Now one thing I wanted to touch on is that you were saying something about you take 20 pills. Well, people don't realize that you're swapping out pills, your supplements for, the average person takes Tylenol or Advil and then Zyrtec and then something else. That's at least 5 to 10 pills a day that people aren't thinking about.
Right.
So you don't have to take all those things anymore. They're just seeing the one big pile and thinking in their mind that it's a lot, but they're not realizing that they were already probably taking all those things already and still not feeling better.
Right. Yeah. When you add on their supplements or whatever else that they're trying
Correct. A daily vitamin
right,
or
not doing any good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love, even when we have our our check-ins and we talk, it's not just, okay, well, how you're feeling, and then that's it. It's like, okay, so what are you eating? What are you eating for breakfast? What are you having for lunch? How are you feeling? What's going, you get really detailed about all those questions, which I totally appreciate. So, and I know
thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it.
I do, because
I'm really glad.
you're looking out for my best interest. And there are certain things that, I would not even think to put into a conversation that you turn around and ask. It's like me, I'm a business coach. So when I'm turning around and I'm asking things, people are like, well, I never really thought that had anything to do with my, my business. And it does. And you are the same way. So I love that that's how you do. And I think that's why I'm so excited about this interview, because I think more people need to come and see a naturopath, because it is it is part of that health that you need to move forward. And I recognize that, I know you don't take insurance, and I know that it could be, a budget concern, but as I put it, that it was worth it. I am worth putting myself first. I am tired of living the way that I was living. I was tired of having the illnesses that you have to take another pill that is going to then do other damage or cause something else. And I was tired of all that. So I knew that I wanted to put my money and put it back into me, because I knew that I was worth it. And I'm so happy that I'm on this journey. So that's what I wanted to, make sure that people know, that people that are out there that spend their money and they don't even think about all the things that they are doing wrong into their body. It's like, take that money and put it aside and go and, talk to Dr. Karenmarie, because I think that you will find a lot of stuff out about, how you are and how your whole life operates. It's not just, a quick, simple thing, which you get into, which I love.
Yeah. Also, a lot of times people will say another thing is that people will bring me their labs, and naturopaths tend to look at labs with different binoculars. We have a different view of labs. So Quest will put out a set of values that they think is normal, meaning the range is like really super wide, but a naturopath will look at it and know that the therapeutic range is a much tighter, smaller range. And so a lot of the times just simply bringing a person's labs will find out, oh, did you know you had hypothyroidism? And they'll say, well, my doctor never told me that. They're just going to see me next year. So just simple things like looking at somebody's labs could make a huge difference. They'll say, I've been hypothyroidism for a really long time, but I still don't feel well.
Yes. I love that. So just so you know, that example was me. I had labs. My doctor had passed away. I got my medical record and I brought it to her because I had saved it, hadn't found a new doctor. And I went to her and I gave it to her. And she's like, this is interesting. This is interesting. So it was another part of that puzzle that she put together. And before we even had our labs, she's like, well, I suspect you're this, this, and this, and this. And you know what? Everything she said came true. So again, I think that it is definitely well worth coming to see you for any type of medical questions that you have. Your health is so important and you need to put it first. So I know that we are moving on, but I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. What is your favorite thing? I mean, you are an entrepreneur. You have your own practice. What is your favorite part about your business?
Oh gosh. Honestly, what we're doing right now, when somebody comes to me and they've got a million pieces and they know that they have these millions of issues, but have no clue how to put them together and who to find to put the pieces together. And when somebody like you says, oh my God, thank you for helping me, that makes my day. Like, I'm like incredibly humbled and grateful that I have this gift to do that. And when somebody says that, I just can't be happy enough. That makes my day.
That's awesome. Because, when you are in tune with your body and you recognize the foods that do damage to you, it's like you never want to go back to it. It's like night and day. I can never go back. Don't want to go back. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't miss any of that. So thank you.
Yes.
All right.
You said I ruined chocolate for you.
Well, I mean, yeah, chocolate's not my thing. But you know what? I don't miss having chronic diarrhea. I don't miss throwing up and having chronic diarrhea at the same time. I don't miss being bloated. I don't miss having allergies. I don't miss living in a fog. And I mean, I'm a go-getter, so I have the energy, but I don't miss that energy that I didn't have, or that I'm always tired, So I appreciate it. I love it. And this is the message I want to give everybody. Okay, wake up. It's time to put yourself first. All right. What is your favorite self-care item or routine that you do for you?
My skin, definitely my skin. Washing my face at the end of the day with cotton. and a good cleanser and moisturizing. That's my favorite self-care thing.
Love that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. What would you tell your 14-year-old self?
Oh, damn. I would say forget about what everybody else says and you just recognize your little old wonderful self and you go out and you just be happy and don't let anybody stand in your way and you just go recognize your dreams. That's what I would tell my 14-year-old self.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay. So what are you loving in life right now?
Oh God, I hate to sound redundant, but I'm just so happy that my business is doing really wonderful. I'm loving working with you. That you have helped me talk about helping. You have helped me grow my business and help me look at my business with a different view, talking about views in a different way, and helping me get things and do things in my business in a different way that are more practical and more efficient, and just the business end side of it, that has just been really wonderful. And I just feel like every day I'm growing more and more, not just as a doctor but as a person and as a businesswoman.
I love that.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The business coach hat doesn't go very far. It travels with me all the time.
You really helped me out a lot, and I just can't thank you enough, because I just feel like I think we all need helpers. We all need to reach out to our tribes, and there's always a better way to do things, and there's always a more efficient way to do things. And as a doctor, my concern and my energy always went to sitting in front of the patient, but I didn't spend a lot of time on the business end of it, and that's where you really helped me. And it really has been tremendous, and I really can't thank you enough about that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. One last question.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh goodness, my favorite movie is Girls Trip,
Yeah.
with Jada Pinkett Smith and Queen Latifah. But before that, it was Bringing Down the House, which is with Queen Latifah and Steve Martin. I love a funny movie.
I love that. That's awesome. So, how can people reach out to you? And I know that you have a 30-minute kind of a consultation call that
Yep.
is free for anybody. So, can you tell
Yes.
people a little bit about that?
Yes. So you could reach it out. People reach out to me on Facebook. You'll be surprised. More people, welcome to a different world of how we're being a doctor, right? Thanks to Coronaville. People have reached out to me on Facebook. They send me private messages. People can call, they can leave a message. My assistant will get back to you and make an appointment. If you want to schedule a 30-minute consult, that is through telemedicine. Again, all those avenues, you can send me an email at askdoclaconte@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at thenaturopathicapproach.com, or you can reach out to me on Facebook and say, hey, listen, I want a 30-minute something, you know, just tell me what you can offer me and help me with my various different health issues.
Awesome. Now, I know that you are based in Connecticut and most of your patients are in Connecticut, but if somebody that is not from Connecticut, can they still reach out to you and have a conversation?
Yes, they can. They can certainly do a 30-minute consult, and they could also have an appointment through telemedicine. And so if there is a wonderful thing about Coronaville, is that I have been seeing a lot of patients through telemedicine, whereas I would not have thought of it otherwise. And so I've had elderly people that didn't want to go out because they, were scared. I've had people at night. I can do telemedicine appointment on Saturdays and Sundays as long as they make an appointment. I can do it at night for people that are busy people that are, working all day and they're running a family and the only time they've got time is 8 o'clock at night. I mean, I get that. So I could really schedule a telemedicine appointment I'm flexible with that really at any time.
I love that. So when we talk about telemedicine, not everybody knows what that term is. What is telemedicine to you?
So telemedicine basically is the patient can choose. It would just basically be us talking on the phone. And so the patient can choose to do it on Zoom, or the patient, no, I'm sorry, not on Zoom, because I have to write in their chart. And so their chart is up on the screen, so not through Zoom. But a patient can see me through FaceTime, or if a patient doesn't want to do that, they can just simply call, and then I call the patient when it's time for their appointment. And that's how we would do a telemedicine appointment.
I love that. Is there anything else that you want people to know today?
Yes, I get a lot of times people say to me, is a naturopath a real doctor? And I love when they say that, because my student loans and my boards that I had to take for 3 days for 8 hours suggest that yes, we are a real doctor. We study the same exact sciences as a regular MD. The only difference is we have about 2 more years of schooling. We can do everything an MD does. We just don't give pharmaceuticals. We work with patients or I work with patients that are on pharmaceuticals. We have to know how they interact with herbals and homeopathy, and supplements, etc. So that's one thing that I would want patients to know, is that yes, we are a real doctor. Yes, we do know what we're doing. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yes, we study the same sciences. And me in particular, I teach anatomy. So I teach the people going to be doctors. I teach people going into PA school or going to be an RN or an APRN. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. So that also helps me keep my pathology and my anatomy skills sharp.
I love that. So I do want to say that I think that you are brilliant. You know,
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
you
much.
it's not just even the brilliant with the body, but you recognize the person and who they are and how they are. So you understand the person as a whole. So for those that are listening today, thank you, Dr. Karenmarie, today
You're
for
very
being here.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
For those that are listening today or watching this, if you have any doubt, any questions, I highly recommend that you do reach out to her. I will make sure that wherever I post this, that her information is in the comments. But again, you can go to her website. All the information is there. You can schedule a 30-minute through there. So, and if you like this interview, please leave a comment. Let us know how you liked it. What was your takeaway? If you have any questions for Dr. Karenmarie, please post them below. I will make sure that she sees them. And if you are interested in joining a community of women empowering women, then I
Yes.
highly suggest
Yes.
you join
Do
Women
it.
Empowering Women Now. Go to our website,
Yes,
womenempoweringwomennow.com.
definitely.
Sign up for the elite circle. And again, Dr. Karenmarie is part of that, and she is she's there to answer questions and help people as well. So it's great to have her part of this. So again, thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a
Bye.
great day, guys.